class, this is Mr. Goyette with National University Academy. Welcome back from your holiday breaks. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas, a nice holiday, and a Happy New Year to all of you. We're finishing up Unit 5, starting Unit 6 this week, and some of our topics we're going to be going over chromosomes, mitosis, we're going to be going over centromeres, cell division, interphase, telophase, anaphase, and some of these will be on the quiz as well as on the final. So I'm going to load this into the course, embed it in the course, so you can review it this week in case you haven't finished the Unit 5 quiz. Or if you need to go back and review this content before the final, it will be in the course in Unit 5. Let's start with homologous chromosomes. Homologous chromosomes are similar in size and shape and genetic content. Remember that homo means same, so when you see homo, remember same. And you can find this information on page 120 if you want to review that in the textbook to have another explanation. To help me with our topic for number 2, Crystian is going to give us a brief explanation.
Alright, so you should remember today for the quiz, human cells have 46 chromosomes. After each process of mitosis, each cell gets 46 chromosomes. You can look at this, you can review this at page 121.
Very good.
I'll pass this out to Mr. Goyette.
Thanks, Crystian. Yeah, and as you said there, you get that whole copy of those 46 chromosomes. So it's a good this question's going to come up again. Just remember, you get that all 46 chromosomes after mitosis. So number 3, we have it'll give you a series of pictures for that question, and you'll see a similar question like this on the CSTs, the STAR tests, where they're going to ask you to identify telophase, anaphase, metaphase. Here, what they're talking about is identifying anaphase. So in the first picture they give you, you'll see these two globular parts of the cell dividing, and you'll see the centromeres dividing, the chromatids, which are moving towards the poles. In other words, they're over here towards the ends. That's the process of the cell dividing. So you'll be able to identify anaphase. For number 4, you'll see it'll give you a picture of the whole process of cell division, and it'll show both a segment of that, mitosis, and cytokinesis. But what it's highlighting in that question, and you can review this on page 131, is the fact that interphase, this green area that I have for you here, is 80%, approximately 80% of the whole process. So just remember that for most of that cell division, you have interphase here, 80% of it. Let's talk about mitosis a little bit more. Mitosis produces 2 cells. These are called daughter cells after cytokinesis, and each get a full copy. As Crystian mentioned, it's those 46 chromosomes. That's the DNA that makes sure that organism is identical to the last for the cell. 6. An advantage of sexual reproduction is that the organisms remain stable in a changing environment. So this keeps the organism safe, and this is on page 119. I think that's a little out of view for you, so I'm going to move the camera a bit. So again, an advantage of sexual reproduction, organisms remain stable in a changing environment. Mitosis again, it ends with 2 daughter cells. See that on page 130. Crossing over, during the crossing over process, the chromosomes exchange corresponding DNA segments. So they're going to have that mirror image as they break apart, and the corresponding segments means, another word for corresponding would be the matching segments, or the parallel segments. In this case, your corresponding content of the DNA is being split apart in identical portions. So this is on page 119. You'll want to remember that the gametes include the sperm and the eggs in reproduction. That's on page 118. For more on gametes, turn to page 118. Take a look at cell division. You'll need to note that for cell division, it begins with DNA and proteins coiling into a chromosome. And they'll give you a picture of a chromosome on page 118. And what you want to note here is that's the centromere, as this is dividing. The centromere is that part where it's coiling together. So one other thing I wanted to mention, going back to number 2 that Crystian discussed, this is not going to be on the quiz, but it's something you're going to see on your CSTs. You're also going to see it on the final. You'll need to know the difference between diploid and haploid. So let's talk about that. 2 sets equals diploid, and 1 set of chromosomes equals haploid. So when it talks about, it's going to talk about this more on page 121, and I'm blocking your view a little bit, but the diploid cell says, when a cell such as a somatic cell contains 2 sets of chromosomes, it is said to be diploid. Unlike somatic cells, human gametes contain only 1 set of chromosomes, 23. When a cell such as a gamete contains a set of chromosomes, it is said to be haploid. Biologists use the symbol N to represent 1 set of chromosomes. So going back up to diploid, unlike somatic cells, human gametes contain only 1 set of chromosomes. So here, you can remember that you have this 46, right? So what you need to remember is that that 46 comes from 2 parent cells, each having 23 chromosomes each, adding up to the 46 chromosomes. So there's a picture of that on page 120. It says, when haploid gametes fuse, they produce a diploid zygote. When haploid gametes fuse, they produce a diploid zygote. If you're taking biology notes, know the difference between haploid and diploid. Thank you for watching this quick review of Biology Unit 5. I'll be going over more of this with you over the week. Please get started on Unit 6. You need to finish that by Friday. Again, welcome back. Happy New Year. And I'm looking forward to finishing up this semester with you over the next 3 weeks. Bye. Bye for now.